guys, my name is Kaylin. I am from grassfedgirl.com, and today we're going to be talking about how to get back into ketosis fast as lightning. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun to talk about this topic, something people are always asking me about, so I know you're going to enjoy it. Stick around. Okay, so first things first is you have to be fat adapted to get back into ketosis quickly. So if you've never been fat adapted, if you're coming from a standard American diet, if you haven't eaten a large majority of your food from protein and fat, you probably will not be fat adapted. So if you have been eating a lot of carbohydrates, you will not be fat adapted. So I'd say it probably takes about 2 to 3 weeks for most people to get into ketosis the first time. But then after that, it goes very quickly to get back in it. So I'd say maybe 24 to 48 hours to get back into ketosis once you are fat adapted. So this is more of a video for people who are trying to get back into ketosis that have already achieved it in the past. You can't just expect to be in ketosis in 24 to 48 hours unless you've already kind of trained your body. And we call that metabolic flexibility, which means that you it's almost like muscle memory. You know, when you do an exercise or something, you can always do it. And when your body is used to being into ketosis, it can jump back quickly. But if it's not used to it, then it's going to feel really bad and want to have carbs every few hours. So if that's you, I'll make another video about how to get in ketosis the first time. But this is more for people who are getting back into ketosis quickly. Okay, the number one thing you want to do is to eat more fat and protein. So you cannot get back into ketosis eating lean protein, that's for sure. So when I noticed, especially when I first was pregnant, that I was in deep ketosis, and it was probably because I was eating a lot of goat cheese and I was eating a lot of eggs, and I wasn't eating as much of the big steaks that I was in the past. Of course, I was still eating them, but it wasn't as much. So my fat percentage had gone up, and then I noticed like my breath was really bad, and that was the ketones. And then I took my blood ketones with my meter, and they were about 1.5, 1.3. And normally my ketones, when I do just plain carnivore with no dairy, is about 0.5 or maybe 0.3 even. So you got to have that fat percentage up. I'd say between like 60 to 80% at least. Probably 70 is a good number. So one thing I like to use is called Carb Manager. It's a free app. Of course, there's an upgraded version. And also the Keto Mojo, which I'll show you in a minute. So you can use those tools to see what you're eating each day and your fat percentage, and then also your ketones, which, carnivore, you don't have to measure your ketones at all, but some people just find it interesting. Some people find it helpful. Some people need it because they're doing this diet for therapeutic purposes. I think it's a cool thing to know and to know how you're feeling, but I definitely don't think it's something you need to do long term or every day. But it is cool to learn about it, for the first time or when you're first starting carnivore, to see, are you in ketosis? Are you not? What makes you go out of it? All that kind of stuff. So I think it's a cool tool for when you're starting out. You can get my Keto Mojo link down below. We'll give you a discount. Number 2 is avoid sweeteners. So a lot of people on keto eat artificial sweeteners, and that can be a big problem. It can spike your blood sugar. So that is going to be the opposite of ketosis. That is what you do not want to happen. And you definitely want to keep your blood sugar under control if you want to achieve optimal ketosis. So optimal ketosis is, well, I don't know, that's pretty debatable, but ketosis in general starts at 0.5 millimolars, I think it's called. And so you have to be above 0.5. Most people believe that. It's set standards was created by Dr. Finney and Volek in their book, The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living. So 0.5 is kind of where it starts, and then some people go up to 3 or something like that. And I think it's debatable about which more is better and all that kind of stuff. I would just try to get above 5 and, you know, see how you feel with that. And eventually you'll get to where you can feel it. You can feel if you're in ketosis or not. Like right now I can feel that I'm not. I kind of went crazy earlier eating some goat yogurt, which kind of has a lot more carbs than some other stuff, even though it is a an animal-based product, so it's okay on carnivore. But for me, it definitely does kick me out of ketosis for a while. So that's kind of what gave me the idea for this video. And to get back into ketosis, I'm going to have to eat more fatty stuff like goat cheese, something like that, or eggs for dinner, or maybe a big fatty ribeye, or really high fat ground beef, which I have this 75-25, so that's going to give you the fat that you need. Or maybe a lot of people on carnivore like the suet, so they cut the suet in pieces and eat that. You could heat it up, or you could just eat it raw. I've never eaten it raw, but I do have some, so maybe one day we'll make another video with that. So some people like the suet, which is beef fat, kidney fat. I think there's different, you can get it from any kind of ruminant, and it's pretty cheap. So if you want to try that, a lot of people are able to get their fat percentage up like that. So definitely avoid artificial sweeteners. And then you're like, number 1 is add fat or eat more of a fat percentage. Okay, another controversial topic, number 3, is add exogenous ketones, which I would say don't do that. So number 3 is you don't need exogenous ketones. That just makes you have expensive pee. As much as I would love to sell you exogenous ketones, and I do have a link below, some people like to use exogenous ketones for a workout drink, something like that, kind of like a pre-workout or post-workout. And I can see that, or some people just like to use it like in lieu of coffee. I can see that too, but it is not going to get you back into ketosis. It will make you seem like you're back in ketosis, but you know, your body is a lot smarter than a supplement or a supplement company. So I don't think you can really fool your body into getting into ketosis. You might just see ketones on your meter for a couple hours or something like that, but really taking exogenous ketones, unless it's just for fun or it makes you feel good or you just like it as a pre-workout, which I do have a brand I like, it's called Perfect Keto, and it's down in the description box, but it is not necessary to get back into ketosis. So I think you should let your body do the work, and within 24 to 48 hours, I think you'll have no problem getting back into ketosis, and you don't need exogenous ketones unless you just like them. Okay, another hot button issue is fasting. So a lot of people want to do fasting to get back into ketosis. Now, I'm not a big fan of fasting. I have coached a lot of people over the years, and fasting, especially for women, most everything I talk about is kind of from the perspective of women that I have worked with in the past. And women are kind of stressed out creatures most of the time. We take care of everything, everyone except ourselves. And so we don't need another thing to do to make us stressed out. And fasting is one of those things. Most of the time we cannot handle it. So I'm not a big fan of fasting. And also, one of the reasons you'll probably get kicked out of ketosis is because of sugar cravings, because you ate something that made you get kicked out of ketosis and it has sugar or carbs. So is fasting the right thing? I think no. I think feasting back on what you're supposed to be eating, which is protein and fat, is going to be the best thing, because if you're starving you're going to cave just that much easier to the sugar demons that are after you. So definitely fasting, I do not think is the right way to go. I think feasting, especially coming from a carnivore perspective. Now, if you love to fast and it's your thing and on and on and on, go ahead and try it. But from everything I've done and talked to and done on myself and experiments and on, I think that feasting, especially with carnivore, is the best way to go rather than fasting. Because most of the time we got off track, we got out of ketosis because we were having a sugar craving, we were low on sleep, we were stressed out, we were emotional eating. And so all of these things are a bad combination to add to fasting. And I think when you're fasting, you're just going to go back, even swing that pendulum even further and even have a worse binge or a worse crash with your sugar cravings. So definitely I would avoid fasting. So that is not, to me, a quick strategy. Of course, it does work. It does get you into ketosis, but at the sacrifice, I believe, of your hormones and your sanity and your willpower. So I'm not a big fan of fasting, as you can tell, because I've had a lot of health issues. I've had a lot of hashimoto's and adrenal fatigue and all that kind of stuff that was stress-induced. So you're not going to find a big fasting advocate here. If you want somebody else, there's plenty of other channels where they like fasting. But definitely avoid the fasting. If you want to get back into ketosis, I would just start feasting on protein and fat, and you will see that number go above 0.5 any minute now. Okay, number 5 has to do with sleep and stress. If you want to get back into ketosis, I'd say get a good night's sleep, take a hot bath, just try to relax, because if you're worried constantly about tracking and checking your ketones, you are going to be a wreck. You're going to be an emotional wreck. You're going to be craving. You're going to be up and down all over the place, and you're going to be checking the scale. You're going to be freaking out, a big ball of nerves. And, that is not a sustainable lifestyle. Ketosis and the carnivore, either one you choose, are very sustainable. But if you are not looking at it as a long-term plan and, taking into account your stress and your sleep, then you're just going to be a big mess, and you're just going to fall off the wagon in a few weeks and say, oh, keto doesn't work for me, or you're going to go back to some other diet that is very unhealthy and push you back on that roller coaster and that yo-yo. So I would try to change your mindset. Try to think of this as a healing time where you're just going to work on your sleep and work on taking care of yourself. Go to bed early. That's going to have a big impact on your ghrelin, your leptin. So that's going to make you more insulin sensitive. It's going to control your cravings. So that's a crucial part of your success on a keto or carnivore diet. And it's going to help you get back into ketosis very quickly. A good night's sleep, and you'll be able to put that hand, talk to the hand. I don't need your sweets. I don't need your treats. You can go to the grocery store. You can go to the drive-thru, and you're like, phew, phew. I don't need your crap. I don't need your fries. I don't need your Coca-Cola, your ketchup. So that is the only way you're going to be strong and in control, is if you sleep and you lower your stress. So make sure that you do that. So that is number 5. You want to work on your sleep and your stress. It's kind of a combo. They go together. You're not going to have one without the other. So definitely work on those. One more thing that's going to help you get back into ketosis fast is electrolytes. So I've got a great electrolyte here that I've been loving lately. They just sent me this called Relight. It is from the Redmond company, and I really, really like it. It doesn't have any added sweeteners. It does taste a little sweet though. It has, I think, some coconut in it, so that makes it taste sweet. It has a berry flavor. This is what it looks like when it has a lot of salt in it, so it has 1,000 milligrams of salt in 1 scoop. And I've just been loving this stuff so much. I've been drinking it all week. So if your electrolytes are out of balance, you are going to not feel good, and that's going to make you want to eat things that are not going to put you in optimal ketosis for sure. So you've got to get those electrolytes balanced. I know it can seem tricky. I have a blog post with an electrolyte drink. You don't have to buy anything expensive. This one's just super easy to mix up, and it's very tasty. But you don't have to have that. You can just put some salt on your tongue, and I have all the links below in my Amazon shop in the description box. So if you want to try this one, or you want to just make your own, also on my blog I have the electrolyte drink, and I'll put that down below. It is made with very easy to find ingredients. So you have to get your electrolytes balanced. If you are off with your salts or your magnesium, you are going to be kind of a stress case. You're going to be craving sugar. So you will never get back into ketosis if your electrolytes are off, because that's going to affect your whole system and what you want to eat. So definitely get your electrolytes on point, and you will be back in ketosis in no time. I wanted to show you guys, this is my Keto Mojo meter. These are these test strips. So you just put them in here into the top, and then you just put 1 little prick of blood on there, and it's super simple. This is the blood thing that you just put your finger on it. You just go like that, and then the other way. Then you just prick your finger, and then you put it on the little tab here. I'll show you. So these are expensive. These are about $1 each, so you don't want to mess it up. So you just put it in there, and then you're going to put your little blood on there. I'm not going to do it now, but and then it's going to give you your optimal reading. I like this because these are good company, easy to find, and they're about as cheap as anywhere. They're expensive no matter where you go. So and I got about 60 of these, and I think that was about $50. So pretty good deal. And I'll put the link for that below. Anyway, so make sure that you are doing all of these 5 things, 6 things, and you will get it back into ketosis quickly. So you want to eat your higher fat and protein. You want to have your fat a little higher than your protein, so it's going to be about around a 70%. Will probably be the most optimal for you getting back into ketosis. I wouldn't eat. It's not to say that you add extra fat. It's just that the foods that you choose should be higher in fat. So on carnivore, that's going to be fatty ground beef, eggs, cheeses, things like that. You can add suet, like I was saying. So you want to avoid artificial sweeteners or natural sweeteners. It doesn't matter. Those are going to raise your blood sugar and make you crave sweets all day long. So avoid anything that tastes sweet. Exogenous ketones, I do not think you need those unless you just want them for fun, but they are not necessary, so don't worry about that. Fasting, I think it's going to cause you to have more cravings. That's my personal opinion, and after working with lots of clients. But if you feel that that's right for you, knock yourself out. But I find that when you are starving, you make bad choices, and you sometimes tend to overeat whenever your fast is over. And then sleep and stress, you've got to get those on point for you to make better choices in life. If you're running late, how often is it that you're going to have more chance you're going to have an accident? It's the same thing with your diet. So the more you don't sleep, the more you're stressed out, the more you're going to emotionally eat or stress eat. So, and then number 6 was electrolytes. Get your electrolytes balanced, and you will be feeling so much better. You'll be able to not be craving things. Your body will be more in balance, less stressed out. If you have your magnesium, your muscles will be less tense. It's just a great feeling all the way around, so don't underestimate electrolytes. And if you have these 6 things in balance, you will be in ketosis in no time. So I'd say 24 to 48 hours, you'll be back in ketosis and feeling awesome. So I hope this video has been helpful. Please share with a friend, tag us. Make sure and get my new ebook. It is called the Carnivore 30 Challenge. For the month of June, I am doing a coaching group. It's June, all of June. So June 1st to July 1st, we're doing a coaching group. It is going to be so much fun. I'll put the link below. We only have a few more days to sign up. So if you're interested in my coaching, it's a private group. We're going to have Zoom calls. We're going to hold your hand. We have my sisters doing it with me. So we're both coaches. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun. And we're going to give you lots of support. So please sign up for our coaching. I'll put that link down below. It's called Carnivore 30 Challenge Coaching. And it's on my website as well at grassfedgirl.com. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you want to get my ebook, it's down below. It's called carnivore30.info. And please subscribe, share with a friend, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.